Good morning, All Souls Community Church. It's Tuesday, March 31st. This week we're talking all about prayer. Prayer as God's pathway through pain and suffering, through a season like the one that we are enduring. And yesterday I talked to you about the specific call to pray for a person, Manal. And many of you have been answering that call, reaching out with words of encouragement, with prayers, with promises to be praying. And for that, I thank you. There is, today, as of this morning, as far as we know, no status update on Manal. So please keep praying. For those of you who are watching and are wondering, what does prayer do? Why should we pray? Yesterday we talked about Psalm 27 and King David's cry that there's one thing that he wants when he's surrounded by his enemies, that he might be able to dwell in the presence of God, because it's in the presence of God that David is changed. It's in the presence of God that relationship is made. It's in the presence of God that suddenly the enemies around him look a whole lot smaller and have a whole lot less ability over him than he once thought. This morning I want to continue to build on that theme by taking you to the book of Hebrews. First, in the book of Hebrews, that the writer of Hebrews uses this illustration. It's a maritime illustration of a forerunner. In the ancient world, when the ship would get caught out at sea and the storm would be raging and there's no way for the ship to get into harbor, they would send out a smaller boat called a forerunner. And that boat would go out to the ship and take the ship's anchor, passing through the storm, going into the harbor, and would anchor that ship in the harbor, so that no matter what happened out here with this ship in the storm, as the waves beat down on it, those sailors could know one thing: the storm can beat them down, and they could be stuck there for a long time, but they knew where they were going. They knew where they were anchored. They were going to get to the harbor. The writer of Hebrews says that Jesus Christ is our anchor. He is our forerunner. He's the one who's come and grabbed our anchor and taken us into the harbor. And that harbor he calls heaven. He's anchored our souls, this sure and steady anchor. We're stuck there. We know where we're going no matter what happens in the storm. And therefore, the same writer of Hebrews says this: since we do not have a great high priest in Jesus who's unable to sympathize with us, no, we have one who can in every way sympathize with us in the storm. Let us therefore approach boldly his throne of grace in our time of trouble, that we might receive mercy and find grace. He invites us, in other words, to come and pray, because what we're going to find there is a Jesus who gets us, who understands our trials, who gets the storm, who knows the fear of the waves, who understands our inability in the storm to fix what seems to be most broken. And yet he comes not simply so that he can sympathize, but so that he can fix our eyes on what he's done and on where we're going. We are anchored, beloved, anchored in heaven with him, so that no matter what happens, we know where we're going. My prayer for you this morning, and for all of us who are crying out to God, is that we will have a sure and steady hope for our souls, that we will see Jesus and we will experience his love, and we will know without a doubt that no matter what happens in the storm, our home is with him, and that's where we're going. Beloved, be at peace today, and may God be with you.